What
Good
is going
morning,
on?
everybody? Welcome, Geeks and Gamers. Thought I'd try to get it in there before you. Oh, well.
Take it away, Jay.
I failed. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Geeks and Gamers Daily. It's Ryan. It's Jay. It's your favorite duo on a Monday. I don't have a case of the Monday. Do you, Ryan? You have a case of the Mondays?
A little bit. Like just a case of life just continues to go on and on. Regardless of what we try to do to stop it. Here we are in the morning once again. I think Jay took charge because like before the stream, like I get in here, Jay gets in here. He's like, "Hey, good morning." I'm like, "Hi." And I basically didn't say it. We were just sitting here for like 5 minutes. Jay's like, "Is it okay if I cover this?" I'm like, "Yep." And I sat here in fucking silence, and I'm like, "I'm gonna go get my water, and then we'll start." Sit
got my
back
water,
down,
too.
like 60 seconds to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, hits 0, and I say, "All right, here we
Man,
go."
I was covering all the stuff happening in LA. I hope all our friends over there are safe, whatever. And you know how it goes. But so it's like I was excited to be on the show, not having to talk about cars being burned up in the city. So we can talk about fun stuff like pop culture and Disney and theme parks and stuff. And did you see this, Ryan? Did you see this? I always get Ryan in the morning with stuff that he doesn't know what I'm about to bring up. Did you see this?
I did see this, yeah.
This is am I allowed to play this? This is
Go
peak.
for it.
Okay, we've been getting shot at for 6 hours. I haven't eaten.
I don't want to die out here before Battlefront 3.
Guys, I think I lost Greg. I swear he was right behind me. I turned around for 1 second and he was gone.
Man, Greg really has to stop getting in trouble.
Okay.
Bro, there's some more clips of this. Apparently this thing has got like 18 million impressions or 18 million views on the original post. And what kind of YouTube money is that? if you made that and posted that on YouTube, you got 18 million views.
Well, the thing is, the way that impressions work on Twitter are much different than the way impressions work on YouTube.
Correct.
For a video, say a video that gets 100,000 views, chances are there's probably about 1 million impressions on that, and only about 10% of people that, you know, scrolled by that video or saw that thumbnail or whatever actually decided to click on it. It's somewhere around there. Could be a little more if it's a hot topic and a crazy good thumbnail. Could be a little bit less, whatever. So yeah, impressions work differently on Twitter than views do on YouTube. But yeah, I wonder what Greg got in trouble for.
Dude,
you know what probably happened? He was probably trying to rape someone, and Vader was like, "No, sir, not today, not in my empire."
I'm just saying, if you're making these videos while it's like, I don't think they're going to be popular forever, right? I think people will understand it's AI. Like, this is kind of like the weird trend that's happening, and you're getting millions of views on YouTube. You can make a ton of money. This is freaking Moses.
Guys, me and Aaron just got inside the palace. We're about to ask Pharaoh to let our people go. No idea how this is going to go, but wish us luck.
Okay, we just left the meeting. We asked, he laughed, said no one's going anywhere. Anyway, the fight goes on. Pharaoh, if you're watching this, this is your last chance.
Like I from the moment he started it and I saw him walking in, I knew basically how it was going to go, and the video did not disappoint. It's pretty funny.
That's what I'm saying. It's they're making fun of vloggers.
Let the people go, or it's gonna rain, hail, frogs, whatever.
Hashtag let my people go.
He let us go, then changed his mind. Now he's sending soldiers. We're literally running to the sea right now.
We just got here, sea in front, army behind, no way out. Everyone's freaking out. Let's see what God tells us to do. Guys, the sea literally opened up. I'll explain later. We're walking through now.
I'll explain
and no,
later.
This path isn't on Google Maps.
Didn't film the parting, was busy holding the staff.
Why does he have an Australian voice at this point?
But yeah, it worked. The sea split. I'm exhausted.
All right, guys, we made it. Seal's behind us, Pharaoh's not. Don't forget to like, comment, and maybe bring sandals next time we walk.
Yeah, it's it's so stupid. It's kind of funny though.
I'm just I'm thinking about like the financial aspect of people that are popping these out real quick and getting like a few million views on YouTube. Probably just gonna make a ton of cash and then it'll fade out. All right.
I got no idea because you also got to remember the revenue for something like shorts significantly less than a regular standalone video. So
that is true. Unless if they put a bunch of clips together like that and make it a long form, who knows? Anyway, that's YouTube talk, you know.
Yeah. Thunderstorm for $10. I wish they had the skill or talent to make a Sue Storm film, but Woke can't write a story. Well, I don't think we need a Sue Storm film. We need a Fantastic Four film. With Sue Storm
Looks
as
like we're getting a Sue Storm film, huh?
With her as a part of it. Alex McCarthy, it's Monday. Meta PC code RK Outpost or Drunk 3PO. Thank you, Alex McCarthy. Shout out, buddy. Go check out Meta PC's link in the description below. My friend showed me Soul Plane yesterday. I have a feeling it's one of Ryan's favorite movies. I don't know if I would say favorite movies, but I mean, it's funny.
Oh, Snoop Dogg was the pilot.
I think so.
And the plane was on hydraulic.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Keenan Endanu for 2. Ever played the video game Bug on Sega Saturn? I never owned a Sega.
Me either.
I'd have to go over to friends and play it and stuff like that. But I'd never owned a Sega and I never played Bug! Exclamation point. 0. Best duo on daily. Total Monday takeover. Thanks, 0.
So 0.
Hey guys, Operation 1 says, hey guys, I know it's not really related to today's subject, but I thought you guys would like to know it's today's Michael J. Fox 64th birthday. I had no idea. Is that true? June 9th, I'm a little bit shaky when it comes to remembering birthdays. But Michael J. Fox, 64 years old. Why are your cheeks like that, Jay?
I got to meet Michael once. He signed an autograph for me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he gave you a handshake. Michael J., like, all joking aside, Michael J. Fox is fucking awesome.
Yes.
And obviously, like, going through Parkinson's is terrible. But I love Michael J. Fox as an actor. So happy birthday to him. All the best and health to the guy with the DeLorean. I had the shaky one planned out from the moment I started reading, but the handshake one, that one you gave to me. So,
gotcha.
Vayborn for 5. Mainstream media blew it. So now many people get their news from YouTube. This was proven again with Jeremy's coverage last night. Thanks, Vayborn.
Over 10,000 people watching twice in a row.
Maddening for $5. People do love to watch the world burn. Maddening for 5. Morning, gentlemen in chat. Have a good week. Thank you, Maddening. Ever played Rayman? Is it good? I've never played it. Couldn't tell you, Keenan. Logan Johnson. You get your ass kicked for saying something like that, man. Great movie quote from Logan Johnson. Bar King. Getting my last chemo on Wednesday for the foreseeable future. By leukemia, kitty cancer. My first console was a Sega Saturn. My mom's way of saying we got a PS1 at home. Also, I have zero hope for the MCU. Thank you, Bar King. You know, do you remember that? I think it was just called Starfighter, the Star Wars Starfighter game that came out that had a Naboo Starfighter on the front of it. So one Christmas, we had an N64. And one Christmas, we're unwrapping presents, and I fucking pull out an Xbox copy of the Starfighter game. And I was like, holy shit, this means we're getting an Xbox. We're getting an Xbox. And I'm like super excited. I'm hyped. I'm celebrating. My dad's like, the hell's an Xbox? He just bought the wrong game. You know, he was one of those guys that walked into the Toys R Us or wherever they were selling them back then and was like, hey, I need this. Didn't know it was the wrong console. So I was supremely disappointed. But we did return it and get the N64 version. But
Similar
still,
story. We were poor, so we didn't get the NES till like after a year or so after everybody else got one. So, of course, my parents constantly bought wrong game system cartridges because they thought it all just plugged in the same thing for birthdays. And you mean this doesn't work? I got to go back to the store and take it back. I had to wait a few months for them to actually get up and do that.
yeah. So for 30 seconds, I thought I was like, holy shit, I'm getting an Xbox. What a cool way to reveal that I'm getting an Xbox. We've got an Xbox and N64 now. I'm a badass. No, I was not. Confirmed not. But Bar King, that's awesome. You're getting your last chemo on Wednesday. Goodbye to kitty cancer. Congratulations. Liam 501st, hail the 199. Jay, it was great meeting you and Krista at Hollywood Studios on Saturday. Hope to run into you guys again sometime at the parks.
Yeah, man, just reach out. It was awesome. Like we were finishing our vlog on the end of Muppet Vision 3D. It's gone forever. The whole Muppet, the Muppet pizzeria place, the store, the Gonzo toilets, all that stuff is gone. The Miss Piggy fountain. There was actually, I was surprised to see there was actually, if you watched the live stream, you saw there was actually more people crying than I thought. But I guess some people had a connection with their loved ones and the Muppets. And we were walking out to the parking lot after a hot day, and is that you, drunk 3PO? I heard that from across the parking lot. I was like, oh man, I turn around and there he is in the flesh. It was cool.
There you go. That's cool.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
So you guys were there to check out the last hurrah for Muppet Vision 3D. They're getting rid of a lot of shit at Disney, aren't they?
Yes, and they're doing a lot of weird things that people don't understand. First, the Hall of Presidents, for some strange reason, has reopened, but without the presidents doing their show. I see what they did here. An unprecedented move. The Hall of Presidents lobby reopens while the show remains dark, and Disney is silent if they're even going to reopen it. Now, it's kind of interesting. People saying, well, it's because Trump is the president now, but they had Trump in there before, and they had Trump giving his speech or a clip of a speech. But when he won re-election, normally what happens is they shut this down for about a month while they readjust. They already have the Trump animatronic. It isn't like they were trying to build anybody new and put that together, and then they reopen it where you watch a film, a history film of the presidents, and usually the sitting president just gives a few lines from a speech. That's about it. Nothing controversial or anything like that. But this just pushes more the rumors that they're going to shut this thing down. Another one of Walt's creations, while they go ahead and destroy the rivers of America. And this is interesting because right here, let me bring this article up from the New York Post. Seems like mainstream media is getting involved because Disney World fans fume as theme park closes 3 iconic attractions, and they just have lists of people letting Disney know that they're canceling the trip. They're not going back anymore. They're sad about the happiest place on earth. Disney World fans are fuming after the theme park announced the closure of 3 of its most iconic attractions: Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, and the Liberty Square Riverboat. The beloved destinations are set to shutter on July 7th. Park hopping will be there to make way for Piston Peak National Park, a dirt track road in this area, a new attraction based on the Cars universe. So yeah, this is, if you didn't know, we've been bringing this up. I don't know what they're going to do with this giant boat. You would think they would put it somewhere for people to walk through, or maybe they're just going to sell it off, or I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe dock it somewhere. They're just gonna draw a face on it and pretend it's part of the Cars world. That's probably true. Probably true. I think it's just gonna disappear.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but this specific area, one, it's been there for forever, and it's one of the things that still exists that like Walt actually walked through and made decisions on, and was born from his mind and creation, right?
Correct. Yeah, and the reason why they're saying that the Hall of Presidents might close, because when you go into Magic Kingdom, you have the Hall of Presidents, and then this riverboat, the Rivers of America, is right there. They're kind of connected. So it just seems like they're just gonna erase all that, because I guess they don't want any controversy in the park. And we learned that from the closing of Splash Mountain. You know, when they closed Splash Mountain, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna make it Tiana's Bayou and make it a ride that doesn't work half the time." It's one of the most broke down attractions in all of theme parks in America, not just at Disney, but overall in America. It's one of the most. It just, for some reason, it just can't stay open. But in the article, they talk about Walt's vision and how people are just very angry on this. It's like canceling my trip in October. I'll never visit this park again. I'm heartbroken over the loss of Tom Sawyer Island. This is the worst decision ever. Walt's River of America transports you into something ideal in American values and exploration, adventure, history, scenery, a true park within a park. This is a huge mistake from Disney. Cartoon cars will never last the test of time. And it goes on, and we showed this before. This is what they're going to turn it into. If I can get rid of the top, there we go. This is what, this is what they're going to turn it into. And eventually what's going to happen, I guess, with these theme parks, there won't be anything like original, imagination stuff, such as Pirates of the Caribbean was an original, Haunted Mansion,
they used to make things in these parks that would then go on to become IPs for them.
Right.
As
Now they're
opposed to
taking
the other
IPs,
way around.
right, and putting it in the park. As if you, like, for instance, they took Star Wars and made Galaxy's Edge, and they just totally made the brand even worse. They thought they had something there. We talk about the Star Wars Hotel that miserably bombed in less than a year because there was no heart and soul in that. Plus, they charged way too much. So this is very interesting. We'll keep an eye on it to see if the market share, if less people are deciding not to visit Disney anymore. That's, again, they shut down Muppet Vision 3D, which was the last project that Jim Henson ever worked on before he died. And that's the end of that. And now a lot of things that Walt himself worked on and wanted as part of the theme park. So I guess we'll see. And
look, from a numbers perspective, when you're sitting there and you've got accountants looking over the books and you're, hey, how can we get the most bang for our buck out of the theme parks? And you look at Rivers of America, you look at this area and you're like, hey, there's never any wait times. It's never crowded. People aren't really going here that often. Why don't we do something new? Why don't we get rid of that? Put in something that'll bring in more consistent demand. That might make sense on paper. However, there are some things that are more valuable for your reputation and for people's desire to come to your parks in general and stuff like that, than just as simple as, well, these old things, not a long wait time. Let's get rid of it, replace it with something else, because it has that history and people have that connection to it.
One of the biggest takeaways is that these attractions never broke down, and they did shuffle a lot of people around. So there are a lot of attractions in these parks that are constantly broken, that don't work. Rise of the Resistance, another one of their big attractions that technically was a failure because it technically breaks down, according to the statistics, every 40 minutes. It has a breakdown or a restart. Tiana's Bayou was another one. So you think you would take your money and put it in some of the product that's not working properly, instead of totally removing something that is always a nice feature for people to do. But I guess on paper, they wanted to look at something else that would bring more people in. But now we got Epic Universe open. They're going through there, making sure how things work while they're adjusting. So who knows? You wonder if people will decide to go to Epic, then back to the Magic Kingdom. This is the number one visited attraction in America. It has been for years, the Magic Kingdom. So of all of America, kind of crazy to think that they might lose that because of dumb decisions.
I haven't been there since 2000. I think that's the last time I was in Magic Kingdom. I I remember my visit distinctly because there was a big like like when I went to Epcot on that trip, I was like what, 5th grade or something. There was like the big 2000 like celebrating the millennium on the Epcot ball. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Way back in the day. Don't I live in Orlando, Ryan? I do live in Orlando. I just haven't been to Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
I was gonna go, but then they removed Muppets and they announced Rivers of America's going away, and I'm like, this is bullshit.
That's the final straw.
That was it for me.
The final straw.
That was it for me. Over on the Rumble side, Derek PG Beller says, "Happy birthday, Jessica Lindstrom."
Was her birthday year?
She's, I don't know. She got a lot of them. B. Barrett for 2. The protests in LA are mostly peaceful in the same way that Jeremy's mostly straight.
That's pretty good.
All right. Where was I? I said that from Liam. Cole Hauser for $2. Hi, Ryan and Jay. Praise Ara. Thanks, Cole
see
Hauser.
that Cole Hauser was hanging out with some Playboy Playmates yesterday.
There you go.
I saw the pictures.
Congrats, Cole. Make sure she gets tested before you fuck around with her. That's cool. Alucard for $2. What was the name and channel of that Moses vid? No idea. It's just rolling around.
It was on Twitter. I don't know.
Maximus BT, are you retarded? Thanks, Maximus. Tobias, I knew Skull and Bones was bad, but I had no idea how bad until I watched Kev do it, force his friends to play it. Can't even make a new character. Have to buy a second copy and new account. Just why?
Holy crap. I'm so glad I didn't get that game. That was like one of my most anticipated games to get when they announced that. And what a disaster.
Textual for $2. Disney never changes, I guess. That's
not under the current leadership, that's for sure.
Doug May, Disney's handling of the Muppets is criminal.
That is a unique case because it didn't have to happen because they have enough space. Oh, dude, Ryan, yesterday, or Saturday when I did the live stream, I don't know, it's probably been years since you've been there, but when you walk into Hollywood Studios and you go to the right, they have this thing called the Hangar Bay where you can find that's where they shoved all like the original trilogy stuff. They have Boba Fett's ship in there, like stuff from the movies. I don't know if you've ever been there. But you can walk back and you hang a right. You go into this place called the Hangar Bay. They've got the old original posters from the George Lucas stuff. And then you can go inside and they have a speeder bike from Return of the Jedi. It's kind of like a little museum. And there you can get a photo with Darth Vader or Chewbacca.
Is that near the Star Tours stuff?
No, Star Tours is on the other side. So anyway, they call it it's all jacked up. Anyway, so I was there Saturday on the live stream and everybody saw. So I was like, let's go to the Hangar Bay to look at real Star Wars one last time. Well, they're using that area now for stroller parking. This is what they think of Star Wars. That nobody wants to go to this anymore because of what it is. Star Wars has been whittled down to nothing. And now they're just like, they're directing people to park their strollers in there. While they take their kids to like the different photo ops around the area and stuff like that. So I'm walking in there. I was like, holy crap, what is this? And the lady's like, yeah, we're just using it for stroller parking to kind of keep the flow, out of the way. It's like, what an embarrassment to Star Wars, what you've done to that IP.
That'd be cool if you could like park your stroller in Slave One. That'd be cool.
Well, it's only this big.
Oh, well. It's not life size. It's not a life size replica of Slave One. Well, what's the point?
No. It's a model. It's the model from the movies that they used for the prequel, I think. So I couldn't believe it. I was just like, holy crap, man! Stroller parking. This is what it's come to.
Jack Allen. If the rumor is true that they recast Black Snape, would this be a watershed moment in the culture? Would it mean Hollywood might be changing? First of all, one thing isn't necessarily indicative of, everything's changing now. There's a lot of companies out there and a lot of activists. But also, I talked about this yesterday. I put out a video about it too. A lot of the Harry Potter fan sites and stuff like that are all talking about this rumor of Papa Essidou being fired and recast. I don't see any sources for the report, sources for the rumor. I don't see anything about it. So I have no belief whatsoever that it's true. There has been an increase on basically every social media site, especially with monetization on Twitter the way it is and stuff like that. An increase in just, quite frankly, bullshit that comes out. With specifically topics that are just hot and get attention. That's one of them. And I have no idea where it came from. But I do not believe it's true. It would be awesome if it was true, because Papa Essidou should not be Snape. But I have a tough time finding any validity for it, especially right after they made all these announcements. I don't see any way that they fire a black dude and replace him with a white guy. Should, but Link the Sink became a channel member. Thank you, Link. Boba Fett, be careful, fellas. YouTube streamers are dying out here. Yeah, one dude got shot in Vegas.
That was crazy.
That's how my life's going to end eventually. That's why I don't do too much IRL streaming, you know? Can't let people know where I'm at.
Yeah.
Alucard, finally! When you got my name right. Did I say it right again? Alucard? Cole Hauser, that Playboy girl was rocking G&G merch.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
That's crazy, Cole Hauser. Shout out. Getting the brand out there. Link the Sink for 5. Hey, Jay and Ryan, my birthday was yesterday. I got pretty hammered and sang karaoke. Just woke up in time for the stream. Glad I made it. Well, happy birthday, Link the Sink, and hope you don't have a hangover. Hope you don't.
All right, hold on. The only thing, don't have a hangover. Cole Hauser, is that she's got the shirt on backwards. So I don't know what happened beforehand, but her shirt is on backwards. So there you go.
Sure?
Yeah. It's on backwards. There's Cole Hauser wearing my shirt. Yeah, I'm wearing the shirt now. So the back, that's the back of it.
Turn around. It is. I'm going to be honest. It's a fucking retarded design. Like, it's like,
I have like 7 of them. So it's like, I just wear it when I stream.
Bro, I've got this shirt. I've got all of this fucking fabric. Like, I could put a big Geeks and Gamers. I could do whatever. I put a fucking logo this size.
Like a bow tie.
Right up here by my fucking throat. And then another little tiny one that just says Geeks and Gamers. Who fucking thought of that? I don't know.
I didn't. I still said I have like 6 of them. So it's like, I just wear them while I stream.
It's 100% Jeremy's idea. There ain't no doubt. I remember talking about this, and he's like, I have these Under Armour shirts that have just a little logo right there. I really like them. It's like, all right, let's do it. Fuck all this other, like, fuck anywhere else on the fucking shirt we could put anything. Let's put it in a 2-inch, like, make the logo as small as we possibly can, as close to your Adam's apple as we can. That's our design.
Like a bow tie.
Like a bow tie. Hades Beast for $50. I'm always giving Jeremy, so here's to a Ryan and Jay stream. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hades Beast, we appreciate it. Shout out to you for the big $50 super chat. Hell yeah. Jay, should we get to Fantastic Four?
Probably. I've taken up a lot of time. It's not normal for me.
Not normal, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's get to this. Jay, we've all witnessed over the last 5-6 years the complete decline and fall of the MCU to the point where here we are. 2 movies this year have already bombed, and Fantastic Four, there's a lot riding on it to generate excitement for Avengers Doomsday and to stand alone by itself. The first time we've seen these heroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Fantastic Four. But all of this stuff, the MCU, the pushing female characters to the top or putting them in roles they didn't necessarily have in the comic books because you want to send some sort of message. This didn't happen by happenstance. It's been Kevin Feige's goal, or at least what he said his goal was in 2018. Marvel Boss wants more female than male heroes in the MCU. And that's why we got characters like Ironheart and Miss Marvel and America Chavez and things like this kind of pushed to the forefront when, there were still a lot of characters you probably could have used. So when we got the news 2 years ago that there was a rumor out there about the Fantastic Four movie, I don't even think that we had castings at the point when this came out. But it said, hey, Sue Storm is rumored to be the MCU reboot's lead character. She's going to be the focus. She's going to be the leader. We thought, well, it's just a rumor, but shit, I wouldn't put it past him at this point. Here we are today. Sue Storm is the leader of the team in the Fantastic Four First Steps. If you do go back through the comics, you realize that Sue Storm is arguably the leader of the Fantastic Four. Because without Sue Storm, everything falls apart. Says executive producer Grant Curtis. Jay, you're a big Marvel fan, right?
Yeah.
Big Fantastic Four fan?
I enjoyed them, but they weren't my top buys. But yeah.
But you're familiar with
I knew
Fantastic
enough about
Four.
them. I knew enough about him that Sue Storm was not the leader. I knew enough that Sue Storm wasn't the glue that held it all together. Every person had a part in it, but Sue Storm wasn't up front and in charge. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
Well, the truth is, and this, especially the nature of this team and kind of the family aspect and element of the entire thing, without any of them, they would all fall apart. If Ben Grimm fucks off, does something else, it's not going to last. They would need to bring him back. They would need to find a way to get him back to be part of the team, or else they will fall apart. That's how it kind of works. So I don't think that, hey, without her, everything falls apart actually constitutes you being the leader of the team. But is this a surprise in any way?
No.
I guess we shouldn't be, especially when you cast a guy like Pedro to be Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal says he loves being led by powerful women as Sue Storm takes the lead in the Marvel's Fantastic Four, both in his professional and personal life. That is Pedro Pascal's. He's completely fine with that.
Yeah.
But have you heard some of the leaks surrounding the ending of the movie?
Honestly, I haven't.
So I'm not going to sit here and spoil everything or whatever, but I do believe there may be some sort of big girls come together and girls team up type of aspect to the end of this movie. So I guess that shouldn't be surprised that Sue Storm is also going to be. When you look at the way some of the trailers came out and you heard a lot of Sue Storm in the trailers, we see some of the marketing. It does seem like she's shoved to the forefront in some of these marketing things. So you ask these questions, you wonder what exactly is the case. But here we have from Marvel basically confirmed that she is the centerpiece, that she is the focal point effectively of this story. We're getting the Sue Storm that we deserve. And of course, this is Collider, so they go and shit on the old one and say basically all Sue Storm was just a male-gazing era of filmmaking. That's what Jessica Alba's Sue Storm was. And even in the comic books, she wasn't treated the right way and blah, 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 all this shit.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that they're actually saying that Sue Storm wasn't treated right in the comic books, but then the other place is saying she was obviously the leader in the comic books? Wow. You want to know something? I know you're in the article. I wonder, it makes me wonder if this is how they're going to bring She-Hulk back into the movies or whatever, because she was also, if you didn't know, she was also part of the Fantastic Four for a little while Ben Grimm. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. It's been a minute. I believe Ben Grimm went on his own little adventure and she replaced the Thing for a little while as Fantastic Four. I believe I'm correct on that, or something along those lines. So maybe this is going to be a way where they'll get rid of Ben Grimm and bring in another woman to take his spot.
But guess what happened? They needed Ben back.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you remove any one of these elements, the team doesn't work as a whole, regardless of who you try to replace them with temporarily. But And look, this is how they think about the original character. Apparently, she's the leader in the comics, but this is how they talk about it. Sue Storm herself, Kirby, spoke to Collider about balancing Sue Storm as a member of this family, as a wife, sister, friend, and mother, as well as being a strong force of will on her own. She acknowledges earlier comics were very much a product of their time, remembering laughing with Pedro when seeing an early comic that shows Reed placating Sue's complaining by buying her a new dress. What's wrong with women? Like getting clothes, don't they?
I assume. I don't know.
Maybe if she bought a purse or a bag, she'd be more placated.
So sorry, back on the Ben Grimm thing. It's like Ben Grimm left after Secret Wars, but this movie takes place in the 60s. But at the end of Thunderbolts, they were in the future world. Apparently, they're in the future. If you didn't see the end of Thunderbolts.
Well, we assume that is them in there. However,
okay,
we don't
that's true.
necessarily know that it's them in the rocket.
So maybe they'll come to the future. Ben Grimm will fight Doom, which is Iron Man. He'll get killed. And that's how they'll bring She-Hulk into the fold as the replacement of Ben Grimm, so they could have another girl power movement, whatever you want to call it, in the Secret Wars film or whatever film that they're making together. Sounds like perfect Disney Marvel to me. That's how you win.
What if it's actually Doom in that Fantastic Four ship?
Man, it's hard to give them any benefit of the doubt of any kind of credit of doing anything remotely creative, but that could be a possibility. Maybe it's all of them.
Well, we're a month and a half away, Jay, from the release of Fantastic Four.
I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. These Marvel
reports haven't been good for the film. Like, I don't know if they understand that. This hasn't been good. The fact that you've got Johnny Storm, who they're going to change. Maybe they're going to make him gay. I don't know. He's not going to be the Johnny Storm that's like picks up women and all that stuff. He's going to be a more sensitive Johnny Storm, to understand people's feelings. You got Pedro Pascal, who's going to be Rubber Band Man. That's going to be great. Who going to be dominated by a woman, apparently, and Sue Storm is going to be in charge. Nothing too much about Ben Grimm or the Thing. All he's doing is making spaghetti sauce.
He's making sauce, bro.
So maybe he dies. Maybe he doesn't.
Okay.
Maybe Galactus just kills him, and that's why they got to leave. Maybe that's the big thing. They're gonna kill Ben Grimm. He's not in any of the teaser promotion. He'll die, and then they'll get to the New Earth and be like, "We need to find a replacement. Who's replacing Ben?" And then She-Hulk will appear.
Does Ben Grimm
beautiful? I know what's gonna happen. That's my prediction. I'm sticking with it. So now they can have even more women together.
Does Ben Grimm shit?
I don't know. They never really got into that.
I'm just wondering. Does he shit a rock? Or does he like shit normal shit? And if he does, man, he can't just use toilet paper. He'd be rubbing rocks. Like that shit would just like come apart. I think dude wipes would come apart too. Does he just have a hose in there? Just
probably bidet in it, yeah. Yeah. I don't know, honestly. I haven't really thought about it.
These are the questions I think of when I watch superhero movies. Mike Zero's source. Have you asked Mike Zero if there's a recast for Snape? It's when I saw these rumors go around, the first thing I did was look at that motherfucker's channel and see if he had started it or something. I didn't see anything on there. Maybe he fucking did though.
We all know what Ryan would do if he was Mr. Fantastic.
I would never get out of bed. I would just fucking stretch my arm all the way downstairs to go fucking grab a beer. Fucking.
He'd beat people with his wiener.
Oh, I might like that. Might be how I like take out criminals. Like, if I was in LA and I see some rioter, I see some illegal waving a fucking Mexican flag, burning something down. I'd fucking take my dick, fucking lasso it out, get him like around the neck, fucking drag him back in, and just fucking fucking watch him choke to death while the flag drops to the
While
ground.
playing Minecraft.
I'd keep the peace if I were. Obviously, this is kind of a mythical scenario where I have Mr. Fantastic's powers and can lasso someone with my dick. If anyone takes it seriously, it's kind of on you. But I'm just saying, that's what I would do if I was Mr. Fantastic. Let's see. Spider Cowboy. Good morning, guys. Hail the 199. Hail the 199, Spider Cowboy. Good morning. What are you laughing at?
That's a funny story. What would his superhero name be, Chad? Please put it in the chat.
Tobias Nexus for 5. Playboy bunnies are probably the only bunnies me and Ryan can fully agree on as being hot, but dangerous. Tobias.
Hold on, look at this. Ryan's catchphrase.
Choke on my dick.
Rip a verse, make it happen.
Yeah. Madney for 5. Jay, how much would Jeremy have to pay to get a G&G tramp stamp tattoo?
There's no amount of money in the world. Even I have my dignity.
I probably have less dignity, but I mean, money is money. Like
maybe 300,000. Because then I could pay for it to get it removed after everyone has forgotten that I got it.
Yeah, I mean, 300,000 is a lot of fucking money, bro. That'd change my life. I would consider that. Yeah, $250,000. You know, it's a lot of fucking money. It's never take my shirt off again for the rest of my life. Cole Hauser for 2. Happy birthday, Jessica Lindstrom. There you go.
Happy birthday.
Taker, Sue Storm runs a mean pick 6, though. Sue Storm runs a mean pick 6.
AOC comment.
Mad Frog for 5. How do you know the baby's Pedro's and his dad didn't swap out the embryo? That's true.
Excellent
you know that
point.
about Pedro's dad, right?
I heard something about that. I don't think I want to know.
So his dad got in trouble in the 90s, I think, because he worked at a fertility clinic or something. He's a doctor. And there was a massive investigation, and it's alleged that basically he intentionally implanted like different embryos in different women and shit like that. And that's what made him flee back to Chile after because he was under investigation for that in the 90s. Yeah. He was supposed to appear before a grand jury and all this stuff, and he fled to Chile. He didn't come back till like 2018 or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Japanese Demon Lord of Beer Lucifer for 5. Yeah. They're named the Fantastic Four after Sue Storm, not Mr. Fantastic. LOL. These people are insane. Maddening. A lot riding on Superman this summer. For Warner Brothers, certainly. Did you see that big announcement they made today, Jay?
No. I was covering the riots.
Splitting into 2 different companies.
No, I did not see that.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it here.
What would be the reason for that?
Maybe to mix up some of the good money and the bad money. I don't.
So they're gonna pull. Wait. Are they gonna start pulling a Disney? It's like our movie bombed, but a streaming service paid this amount of money for it, so it actually did really well.
It's very similar. I think that what we're looking at could be similar to that. But Warner Brothers Discovery to split into 2 companies. This came out this morning. Warner Brothers, get the fuck out of here. Warner Brothers Discovery, grappling with declines in its overall business, said Monday it planned to divide the company into 2 publicly traded entities, one devoted to streaming and content production and one devoted to traditional television. So this isn't quite the same as like Disney and the way they do things, because still it's all under like there's multiple different aspects of the company, but still, I think it's all just traded under Disney, right? This is a little different. Two different companies completely. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav will remain as the leader of the streaming-focused entity, while Gunnar Wiedenfels, the company's CFO, who's became known for finding new ways to cut old costs, will lead the television company. The separation is expected to be completed by mid-2026, subject to closing on other conditions, and the bulk of the company's debt, nearly $38 billion, will be assigned to the TV entity. That's what I think this is all about, right? Is Warner Brothers is a company that is massively in debt, and they have been, and nothing that they've been doing has been working. And I think this is what they're doing. I think they're trying to get all of their official debt into one company, so that the other one, the one that has the streaming business, the one that has the gaming stuff, the one that has the movies, all of that gets almost like this clean slate. And if this other company fucking goes under, then fuck their debt. That's kind of what I see coming from this. By operating as two distinct and optimized companies in the future, we're empowering these iconic brands with the sharper focus and strategic flexibility they need to compete most effectively in today's evolving media landscape, Zaslav said. Now, Comcast is doing something similar with the breakup of NBC Universal. Where do I want to go here? Warner's find some rhythm. I don't care about that shit. The streaming company will encompass Warner TV and movie studios, HBO and HBO Max, and a games and experiences division. The company will focus on building out HBO Max streaming service and investing in programming. Meanwhile, the TV company will include Warner's TV networks around the world with specific digital brands tied to TV entities, including Discovery Plus, Bleacher Report, and CNN's new streaming products. True TV, TNT, TBS, those are all under, I believe, under that banner. So
basically, streaming is dying on every platform but Netflix. Right. So they're just putting this all together, just like you said, in case it goes under, they could save face.
I think it's kind of the I don't. So I think the one that they anticipate being the most successful in the future is the one that has the movies, the streaming, the games, and all that stuff attached to it. Whereas I think this is like separating the television aspect of it, pouring all of your debt onto that entity, and almost getting kind of a fresh start with this other company that you anticipate to be the moneymaker going forward. That's what it looks like to me. I'm just spitballing.
Yeah.
I am not qualified to actually fucking talk about this other than my guesses based on one article that's come out from this morning. I haven't heard anybody else talk about this. It would make
sense, though.
I haven't heard any financial experts speculate on it. I'm just speaking out of my ass.
It would make sense. It would make sense because streaming has not. I guess all these companies got together and were like, "Oh my gosh, we can get people to pay us $10 a month forever. We can make all kinds of money." And it's like, I thought Disney, they probably were like high-fiving each other, saying this is going to be a great power move for us. We're going to have all kinds of money pour in every single month. And it's like, it's been nothing but a disaster for them and others as well. It just seems like Netflix, no one can catch Netflix. Hulu's probably up there, is doing well, I'm assuming. But it seems like all the other ones are just these streaming services have been nothing but a money pit. Basically, though, we've gone back to cable, right? Is that not it? Like, we've kind of gone back to cable where it's like you've got to pay for each streaming service to have a different channel. I got YouTube TV. That's it. If it ain't on YouTube TV, I'm not watching it. That's all I got.
So one of the other things as well is for the past several months and over a year, there's been speculations about Warner Brothers Discovery potentially selling or merging with somebody, something like that. This type of a deal might make it easier for them to do something.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
Because they are now a smaller entity, and potentially be able to work some sort of deal out. I don't fucking know. But look, Warner Brothers, think about this. in a period of, I don't know, a decade, because they merged with AT&T at one point, right? Became AT&T Warner, AT&T Time Warner. And then it became Warner Brothers Discovery. And now we're splitting the company in two.
Yeah.
Just a couple years after a big merger. I don't know, bro.
Well, remember, they made the amazing decision to bring back HBO, right? Instead of calling it Max. Isn't that what they did?
That's the best decision they've made
That's what I'm
in
saying.
years, was to rename the
maybe,
streaming service HBO Max.
So maybe they're on a roll here. Maybe like the new people have come in and they decided that we're making better decisions here. We got to split up a few things. We might add something. Might be able to sell a chunk over here. That James Gunn movie looking a little sus. I don't know. We dumped a lot of money into this guy. Fingers crossed, it might not be the play. But yeah. So maybe. Guess we'll see.
Mike Zero's source, will Sue Storm have blue hair and nose ring and fight the patriarchy? Wait, I don't want to give Marvel any ideas.
Too late.
I don't think that it will be that, but you never know. Let's see. Snacks for $1 on Rumble says, marry Sue Storm and Silver Surf her. Thank you. And then Duscallion's War for $1. Ryan's superhero name is Biggest Dickus. Thank you. Bar King. Hey, Ryan, how dark is your humor? Picks cotton. Wow. Thank you, Bar King. Black Kane for $5. Do you think the Doomsday delays allow for massive rewrites, reshoots of Fantastic Four flops? No, I think the Doomsday delay is because they literally can't get it done in the amount of time that they would have.
Yeah.
They still haven't officially closed some deals of people that they still want to appear in it. You've got a massive fucking cast. And obviously all of the after effects, the editing, the visual effects that have to go into it. I just truly don't think there's any way they could get it out in less than a year. Just because of the scope. Ryan's catchphrase would be long dong silver away. Thanks, Miki. Hades Beast for 50 says 1-800-mattress.
Oh,
1-800-mattress. Thanks, Hades Beast. The chat says for $2, Ryan's superhero name would be Doomcock. No, I can tell you it definitely wouldn't be that. Shutch for 5. Morning. What do y'all do to combat people returning to cable? What do I do? Why the fuck would I care? Or you mean what do the streamers in general do? People aren't returning to cable. They're cutting the cord, period.
Is cable still a thing?
It is still a thing. I mean, there's still like 70, 80 million, cable TV customers or something like that out there, but it's going down significantly. I might be making that number up. Let me how many cable subscribers in the US? Let's see. Yeah, so just under 70 million. I was pretty damn close. In 2024, around 68.7 million people in the United States had cable television subscriptions. That's a decline from 5% the year before. This year is probably going to be even less. Obviously, it's still a huge chunk of people, but it is continuing to decline.
You just wonder if like a lot of people just set in their ways, they got the cable and they're like, I'm not changing.
They are, but the thing is, I don't know if there's anything I can I don't know if there's anything, with the exception of sports, that I can sit and watch live, like on a schedule like that. Very few things where I would be willing to, hey, this starts at 7:00. I'm going to sit down on the couch at 7:00 and watch 42 minutes of my show interrupted by 18 minutes of commercial.
Different time.
Yeah, because to think about doing that now, there's very few things. Like I said, big time premiere, like if Game of Thrones was coming out now, I'd be like, okay, Game of Thrones, fuck it, let's go. Let's watch it, sit it out. But there's no commercials in that either. So the idea of traditional cable television, I can't sit still for an hour like that to watch some fucking random show on TNT. I don't know.
Dude, my parents are like Sean Hannity. They're in front and center every night. They still might have cable, for all I know. They love Sean Hannity. I don't. It's been a staple in the household.
Let freedom ring.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, Disney Plus is bundled with Hulu and ESPN Plus. It is indeed.
Wait, you can, if you get Disney Plus, you can get Hulu and ESPN, or is that a separate package?
Well,
can you not just get Disney Plus alone now?
You can get Disney Plus alone, but there are bundled packages with Hulu and ESPN Plus where if you were to buy them as the bundle, it's obviously cheaper than subscribing to each of those individually.
Ah, okay.
Like incentives for people to subscribe to all of them. I don't know exactly what the number is.
Got it.
Yes, that is true. Has been true for a while. Tobias, didn't a bunch of huge corporations in the past pull this to deny antitrust regulations? This sounds really familiar for some reason. I don't know, Tobias. I'm not sure. But you got to talk about a video game, Jay. Bro, I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited. I'm sure you saw this over the weekend, Jay. A new revolutionary video game got announced just the other day. It's called Relooted. Did you see this?
Yes.
If I were to be like, hey, I've got a funny idea for a game. Let's make it all Africans and let's make it about stealing shit. And we'll call it Relooted. If I came out with a tweet like that, people would be like, that's funny. That's hilarious. That's stupid. You know, that does kind of sound like almost something they'd think about doing. How stupid would that be? Well, it's a fucking reality now. Rescue African artifacts from colonizers' museums in the heist game, Relooted. Here it is, Jay. Let's actually refresh this. Let's see what the dislike count is. 7.6 thousand dislikes to less than 1,000 likes. Why is that? Let's watch.
What is fun about an abandoned warehouse, Trev?
That's right, you got nothing to prove, sis. No matter what they say.
Okay. What's this all about?
Treaties were signed, promises made and broken. Is it stealing to take back what was stolen?
Stolen? Who's stealing them?
Us.
First of all, why are they dressed like that? Like, go back to like, is that...
They're African, bro.
Is that typical African garb? Like, is that what they wear? I haven't been to Africa in some time, so I don't know if it's gotten this colorful. This guy's got a crown on his head.
I'd bless the rains down in Africa.
I gotta tell you, man, they all look pretty gay. Sorry.
This one definitely looks trans as shit.
And I gotta say, I really want to know who made this game because this sniffs and smells like some kind of progressive white woman, liberal. Hey, we're going to save the planet. We got your back. We know what's right for the African people. We can do it. It just smells, it reeks of them putting this game together, thinking that they're making a political statement and saving Africa.
I believe it's mostly black South Africans. I believe those are the developers. I don't think this is a
I need confirmation. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I saw a picture of the dev team, pretty much all black. But this is, we'll play a little more of the
South
actual
Africa has a lot of white
part.
people in it.
Listen, are you having second thoughts?
Nope. Just hoping you won't get me killed.
Yeah.
I know what you and your little crew are doing.
Nobody threatens my family or my friends and gets away with it. So we are going to do whatever it takes to take back Africa's belongings. And we're going to do it together.
The whole premise is wild. How many countries are in Africa, Jay?
I don't know.
Like fucking 50 or 40
Yeah.
or something like that. And of course, all of them have been different countries at one given point in time. All these fucking people fight each other. All these people have slaughtered each other for like thousands of years and shit. So this idea that like you're like, well, that's an African relic, so I'm gonna take it back for my people. Is it stealing to steal what is already stolen? All this bullshit. This is basically an anti-Indiana Jones game. As opposed to that belongs in a museum. It's no, that belongs in my fucking cave. And to call it Relooted, of all things, is great. The reactions are typical. Make black people game. It's about stealing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Here's this one. Epic Games advertises an anti-racist game that supposedly promotes African culture. It's a game about theft, robbery, and looting called Relooted. Again, who needs racists with allies like this? Legitimately insulting the culture they claim to promote. What does this guy say? You created a game about Africans stealing. Congratulations. You played yourself. This guy, Tobias, you might know him, African Furry. Gene Gentry. We could have had a game where Africans are heroes saving the world. A game that explores African cultures and myths and presents them in a cool way. Instead, we get this.
He's not wrong.
And yeah, this is an African dev team. Like that's who this is. This is the way they thought it was best to portray themselves.
Relooted.
Yeah.
I'm sure Heel vs. Babyface is going to play it, so we'll check out the...
No confirmation if there's going to be a Target DLC or not. We don't know. But, we can only hope.
This is embarrassing, man. I don't have any words. It's just retarded. I don't know what else to say. That's it. That's all I got.
Can't wait.
Cheers. How much to get Ryan to play this game? I don't know, Ryan. How much could we get? Can we pull some money together to get Ryan to play this game?
I might play it, yeah. I might play just because, like, I think it'd be funny. I don't know what it costs. I also don't know when it's coming out.
I bet if you wait a month after, it'd probably go on sale.
You can wish list it now. I don't know if there's a release date. Oh, it's for the Xbox. It's on PC.
Yeah, it'll be on Steam.
It's an Epic game. Is it Epic Games? Yeah. Maybe. But I don't give a fuck. Maybe I'll play it. We'll see. Taker, remember the jokes about Peacock becoming just cock when HBO Max became Max? Your favorite shows stream exclusively on cock. Josh C becomes a channel member. Let's see. Godzilla's Greaser. You forgot to toast Tobias for his bunny comment. To roast Tobias. I forgot tot roast Tobias. Yeah. I thought about some things and decided I'm mean enough to Tobias as it is. I just had no words. Rinsler for Canadian $10. So, geeks and gamers or punks and grifters, how's the deportation in support of Trump, like Jeremy a total sellout, so much apolitical group? Rinsler, I know you're Canadian, so you probably are a fucking retard, and that's fine. What have we talked about that's political on this stream? We made mention of the Hall of Presidents not being open at Disney yet, which is a little bit strange. I made a joke about fucking using a Fantastic Four stretchy dick to choke a protester in reference to a super chat. What if, like, we talked about him in sitting here that's actually talking about this shit that's getting, we're getting so political on this entertainment show. I can't say that word. Rinsler, you're Canadian. That's actually worse than the word that I was about to say. So I don't know what your fucking like hard on is for Jeremy or what I don't know what you're talking about. Things for me are fucking great. I don't know about you. But yeah, your life probably sucks because you are fucking Canadian. But I'm glad you're there and not here.
How does it feel to pay $10 just to get roasted by Ryan?
To be honest, it's 10 Canadian, so it's not real money. But Justin Martin
on my end too, in case you're wondering.
If there ever were a game Ryan should be streaming, it's Relooted. I'll try to play it.
I agree.
Stewie Felt looks like the Lionel Richie video for All Night Long.
All night long. All night.
Yeah.
That's right. It does actually.
Logan Johnson, Wakanda Forever. Absolutely game of the year, especially if SBI is involved with it. Can't wait for the roast it'll receive. The Trillist. If you had to guess, how much you think Disney's going to spend production for Doomsday?
Oof.
No joke, $500 million.
Yeah, it's going to be high.
That's not me being hyperbolic. That's me being honest. Especially when you factor in the money that they spent just on Robert Downey Jr. and on the Russo brothers. You know what I mean? Like,
you're going to spend a lot on salaries, that's for sure.
They really are.
J Rex says, nice, Jay. Pretty gay, but nice. My singing. Thank you.
Relooted has a live demo in Los Angeles.
Get the freak out of here. Oh, never. All right, I get it now. Sorry.
Stewie Felt for 5. Will they get to unalive white farmers before they flee to the U.S.? Maybe. Anjanette for 14 South African dollars. Cringe money for Ryan to play the cringe African game. Black Kane, need my Siga Valiant Renegade. The Warner Brothers story. I'm sure he'll have all the inside details of everything, exactly what's happening when it comes to that. Godzilla's Greaser for 2. My work computer sucks. Hey, it's all right. I'm relooting dem Air Force Ones from Foot Locker. Yeah. Long and Distinguished, our fancy wiener dog, for $5. Thanks, as always, for the entertainment. Hey, it's my pleasure.
The only account that Ryan actually likes.
I love this account, dude.
Yeah.
He's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Or she, whatever it is. But especially now you got the profile picture. I love it. The Trillist Relooted gives We Got GTA at Home vibes. Space Digger, Cobra Cast had live action Relooted last night.
Yes.
Infamous. We need White Black Panther DLC for Relooted. Could do that. Hades Beast. This just for Jay. For $20.
What's up, brother? Thank you.
Wow. That's nice.
Thank you.
He's not seeing that. Harry Brownhole for Canadian 2. Make sure you wear your Pharaoh hat when you stream it. Oh, I should. I got my Pharaoh hat somewhere around here. Greedy Graffiti. What's up, fellas? I have 9 long boxes of comics from the 60s to the early 2000s. What's the best way to sell them? I'm too lazy to sell them individually on eBay. Would rather unload them in big batches.
You got comics from the 60s? Email me some pictures of some of those.
If you don't want to sell them each individual, well, one, I would look through and make sure you don't have anything really fucking good in there that you're like giving away for less than it's worth. But
just send them to me.
If I were to do it, I would do it in like runs. You know what I mean? If you've got like a 50 comic run of something, you like bundle that and sell that individually. Like that's what I don't know what you have though. So maybe you just got a smattering of random shit.
If you really want to do something, you can always go to a small Comic-Con and pay like the $40 or something for a table and just spread them out all over the table with little price tags. If you wanted to do that.
I think he's too lazy to do that, Jay.
Oh, okay.
He's too lazy to sell them individually on eBay.
Shout out Jen and Sil. I see you in the chat.
Facebook Marketplace.
That's yeah.
Facebook Marketplace.
That's a golden gem.
It can be. JB's spooky review. As a Canadian, I can confirm life sucks. Thanks, JB. Let's see. Amenti for 10. Need to revive an old meme and make Ryan's superhero name humongous. Thanks. Mike Zero Source, Rinsler, your mother must have introduced you to a coat hanger before you were born. Unfortunately, she missed. Callum Lyle for 5. Does Kevin Feige want to trans into a woman, or does he just want Joss Whedon's body count by playing feminist? I'm not sure. Black Solid Snake Moan for 199. LA looking like the opening to Predator 2. Pyro Morpheus, adding in promotional stuff for Doomsday already released and in production, share stream, etc. Marvel will never financially recover from this. Look, I think that not being outlandish or crazy, I think the idea that they might spend $500 million on making the movie itself and another $200 million to keep it like relatively could be more, but let's just say 200 million on promotion for the thing. They might have $700 million wrapped up in it, which means you're looking at a movie that needs 1.5 billion before it starts making money, which might be feasible. Look, I mean, we saw what Spider-Man No Way Home did. We saw what Deadpool and Wolverine did at the box office, right? Like, we have seen that over the last couple of years from Marvel, but it requires big stuff. This is obviously big. A lot of people coming back. But I think that's what they're setting at. If this doesn't make $1.5 billion, they might not make a dime from it. We'll see. Make sure I'm caught up. I am caught up over on Rumble. We're caught up over on Locals. Jay, what do you got going on today, buddy?
Well, there is no park hopping stream today, but I think because we're going to be going live back in the park. A lot of people like when we do some park walks, so we're scheduling some of that this week. Hopefully, if the weather decides to cooperate when we're able to go. But we do have on the Drunk 3PO channel, that's changing a little bit. We do have the Monday Hangover, which we'll be celebrating and going over Goonies 40th anniversary. And I haven't heard yet, but I'm hoping to have the owner of the Goonies house on for at least like 15 minutes to take us through a quick walkthrough. But if he's not able to come on this weekend because he's had almost every star from the movie has been there. They've had parades and all kinds of other things happening this weekend while he's there at the house. We'll definitely try to do that later on. So, that'll be kind of fun at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Drunk 3PO channel. Monday Hangover.
Goonies never say DEI until the reboot. That's awesome, Jay. Congratulations. So go check that out. We'll be back tomorrow for more fun. More fun and more entertainment. And hopefully Canadians will be back.
One more.
Rolling the Wretched. Ryan, do you think we would ever be friends if we hung out? We're both angry white racists, so we have a lot in common. It takes a lot for me to be friends with someone, Roland. So, possibly. We'll see. No guarantees, though, Roland. No guarantees. But you can keep striving for it. But thanks, Roland. Appreciate the super chat. We'll talk to you guys next week. No, not next week. Tomorrow. Where the fuck am I? It's a Monday. All right. Bye, everybody.